You know, for so many of us, a generator isn't just some nice-to-have gadget. It's an absolute lifeline. It's what keeps the power on, the food in the fridge from spoiling. Basically, it keeps life moving when the grid goes down.
But here's the kicker. What if that exact lifeline was also one of the biggest threats to your home? Yeah, it's a scary thought. So let's get right into the critical safety rules that make all the difference between a helpful tool and a household disaster waiting to happen.
Okay, so the single biggest danger from any generator. It's a tricky one. It's something you literally cannot see, smell, or taste. And the terrifying part? By the time you even suspect something is wrong, it might already be way too late.
Of course, we're talking about carbon monoxide. You'll see it written as CO. It's this poisonous gas that gets created anytime your generator burns fuel, whether that's gasoline or diesel. And what makes it so incredibly dangerous are its characteristics. It's invisible, it's odorless, you have absolutely no natural way of knowing it's there.
So how exactly does this invisible gas do its damage? Well, the way it works is, honestly, it's frighteningly effective. It gets you right at the cellular level.
All right, let's break down the biology here just a bit. Think of your red blood cells as little delivery trucks for oxygen. That's their job. But carbon monoxide? It's like a hijacker. It's over 200 times better at grabbing onto those red blood cells than oxygen is. So it just pushes oxygen out of the way. It basically hijacks your body's entire delivery system, and your organs start suffocating from the inside out.
And this whole thing starts with symptoms that, let's be honest, we'd probably all just brush off. You know, a slight headache, feeling a little dizzy. You might just think, oh, I'm tired. But it escalates, and fast. Soon it's confusion, then passing out, and then death. And in a closed space, this can all happen in a matter of minutes.
So this brings us to the most important rule, the absolute, non-negotiable, cannot be broken rule. Your generator has to be run outside, period, and far away from your house. We're not talking about in the garage, not under a covered porch, not in a shed. It needs to be out in the open air, far away from any window, door, or vent, so those deadly fumes have nowhere to go but away from you.
But believe it or not, the dangers don't stop with the exhaust. There's another huge risk, and it's one that a lot of generator owners have never even heard of. It's called backfeeding. And this one doesn't just put you in danger, it endangers people you'll never even meet.
So what is backfeeding? It happens when you hook up your generator to your house the wrong way. Instead of the electricity just flowing into your house, it actually flows backwards, out onto the utility lines. It literally energizes wires that everyone, especially the line workers, thinks are dead and safe to touch. And the difference between doing this safely and doing it dangerously is, well, it's night and day. The super dangerous way is just plugging your generator straight into a regular wall outlet. The only correct and safe way is to use a special piece of equipment called a transfer switch. And you have to understand, the stakes here are life and death. Picture this. A utility worker is out there trying to get the power back on for everyone. They go to work on a downed line, totally confident that it's de-energized, but it's not. Your generator is pumping electricity right into it. It's a tragedy that is 100% preventable.
And that's exactly why a transfer switch isn't just a good idea. It's absolutely mandatory safety equipment. It's a lifesaver. Its whole purpose is to create a physical break in the system. It makes it physically impossible for your generator's power and the grid's power to connect at the same time.
Okay, so we've talked about the big, life-threatening risks, but there are other common mistakes people make that can wreck your generator, fry your expensive appliances, or maybe even both.
And when it comes to keeping your generator healthy and happy, there's one magic number you really need to remember: 80%.
Right? The 80% rule. Think about it like redlining your car's engine. Sure, it can go that fast, but you're not supposed to do it for hours on end, right? Same thing with your generator. It can hit its maximum power, but it's not built to stay there. If you run it continuously over 80% of what it's rated for, it's gonna overheat. That can seriously damage the machine and start sending out wonky, unstable power that'll just destroy your sensitive electronics.
So how do you figure out if you're under that 80% mark? Well, you got to do a little math. But look closely here. You see the two columns, running watts and startup watts? This is super important. Things with motors, like your fridge or your air conditioner, they need this massive jolt of power just to get going. It can be 2, even 3 times what they normally use. You have to account for that big initial surge when you're planning your load.
All right, last but not least, let's go over the ground rules for safety. These are the basic, foundational habits. They might seem simple, but they're absolutely crucial for preventing fires, electric shocks, and just general generator failure.
First up, your generator needs to be earthed or grounded. This is what stops the whole metal frame from becoming live and giving you a nasty shock if something goes wrong. Second, and this is a big one, never, ever try to refuel a generator when it's running or even when it's just hot. Spilled gasoline on a hot engine is a recipe for a fireball. Third, make sure you're storing your fuel in the right kind of approved containers and keep them far away from your house. And finally, just do the regular maintenance. A well-cared-for generator is a safe generator.
Okay, we have covered a lot of ground here, so let's boil it all down into one final, super simple checklist that you can use to check your own setup, like right now.
Seriously, take 5 seconds and run through this in your head. Number 1, is my generator outside and far away from the house? Number 2, do I have a proper transfer switch installed? 3, is my power load staying under that 80% rule? And 4, is it properly earthed? If you answered no to any of those, you have an urgent safety problem that you need to fix today.
And that really leaves us with one last question to think about. A lot of these dangerous shortcuts, people take them just for convenience. But these rules, they're not about what's easy. They're about survival. Survival for you, for your family, and for the line workers out there. So take a hard look at your setup and ask yourself, is it built for convenience or is it built for survival?